Welcome, guys, back to the I Love Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, as always, Justin Woolwine, and today we are welcomed with Johnnie Robbie. How we doing, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excited. Like I told you off air, we got Warrior Wrestling coming up this Friday, December 5th, as this will be posted on. And I can't wait to see you in action with Willow Nightingale, which I'm sure we'll get all into. And like I said, I've seen some of your work. You've been kicking ass all over the place, and I'm excited to learn a little bit about it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited for my match on Friday.
Before we dive into all that, would you like to shout out your social medias?
Ooh.
Obviously, your upcoming event for Friday, Warrior Wrestling, and then even more upcoming events, just to plug some things.
I believe my Instagram is Johnny with like three E's and an underscore somewhere in there. And then Johnnie Robbie on Twitter and then Johnnie Robbie on Facebook, but I do not use my Facebook. So yeah.
Okay.
I guess I have TikTok, Johnnie Robbie.
Okay. Check her out on all those. Make sure to give her some views. It's always nice. Share the love. I'm gonna start with. Warrior Wrestling is having its resurrection this Friday, December 5th. Big deal here in the Chicagoland area. Something I'm sure
Yeah.
you're proud to be a part of. Warrior Wrestling is an iconic indie brand, especially of like the last decade. So, what's it like for you to be able to be a part of the resurrection and to be? What can we expect between yourself and Willow come Friday?
One, I'm super happy that I was the one chosen amongst many amazing talents. Um, yeah, I'm super happy that I just the fact that I was picked and able to be a part of the return of them. I remember watching a lot of their shows back in the day before I was able to debut. So that's exciting, let alone to be facing Willow. So uh, yeah, I'm just really excited, really hype, but also really nervous.
Have you like in doing this? I had Steve, I believe is the promoter of Warrior On. I'm terrible with names, like we talked about
Mm,
before this, but I had the promoter of
yeah.
Warrior On, and we talked about kind of the process going into even getting you guys in the show, booking the show, getting like trying to build a card. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me that a lot of times he tries to get feedback from the people on the roster and people involved in the show. What did the process look like for you getting to be able to have that opportunity with Willow?
Well, they put out a tweet stating that they wanted people to see who wanted to face her.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I was chosen amongst that. So that's how they did that match. So I'm very excited for that. Uh, that's how that process went for
Okay.
that one, at least.
Is
Yeah.
is it rare that that happens in indies for you?
In terms of what
In terms
exactly?
of like getting a matchup, like especially the caliber of like Willow, who's obviously on AEW, like is it rare just shooting that shot out there and actually getting it?
I think so. Definitely. There's so many amazing talent out there, let alone in the woman right now. Um, yeah, the pool, there's so many women out there that are amazing in every aspect and bring something different to the table. Um, yeah, and then they could have also chosen someone like closer to home, if they
Yeah,
really cared about that. So like I'm very, very happy I was chosen overall because I'm from the West Coast, that's the East Coast. So yeah.
I like it.
It's very rare. So sometimes those come into factor too.
Okay. So, like, typically here on the I Love Wrestling podcast, I try to start at like deep roots, our fandom, like when we got exposed to wrestling, things like that. So Johnny, when did you find professional wrestling, and what about the sport made you fall in love with it?
Mm. So I watched it as a kid, just as anybody did, but I would say I didn't watch it like continuously. I fell off from it, so I know the basics of it.
Okay.
And then started to watch it again as an adult. And I just remember I grew up as an athlete, so I just remember watching and going, man, I would much rather do this than watch it.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I saw it as a challenge, so that's what actually intrigued me with it. And then specifically the match between Charlotte and Sasha Banks at the time.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what other sports did you play?
I did softball and volleyball, some baseball off season for that to when I needed to train, and a little bit of track.
Okay. Do you think any of that's helped prepare you for getting into wrestling at all?
You know what actually helped me for it? So what intrigued me was like I guess the sports aspect of it.
Mhm.
But what really got it all to click and make it make sense was dance, because I also did some dance when I was a kid as well.
Okay.
Uh, so wrestling didn't make sense to me until I saw it as a dance.
It makes sense. It
Yeah.
so, like, my thing, I guess, is did you ever consider any of those other sports that you did growing up as a career path? Or did you know maybe
Mm.
deep-heartedly that you wanted to wrestle? Or is it something that you realized later?
For sure, definitely didn't see myself wrestling.
Okay.
I guess I saw it in like the amateur aspect of it. I remember being in high school and going, "Oh, that looks fun," but because it was during the softball season, I'd never even put it past, "Oh, that looks fun." I was like, "Softball is what I'm focused on."
Okay.
Um, so the things I did see myself in was playing softball not professionally, but to as far as I can go to, which at the time was technically only college. We did, I think, have a US team, but because you couldn't really go too far, and the Olympics at the time didn't have it. I think they still don't. They might just be bringing it back. I can't remember what happened there. That's how much I keep up with it. So like it was like a dream, but I was realistic with it. Um, that was the only thing I actually wanted to pursue. And other than dance, I really did enjoy dance, and I did do a little bit of that when I went into college. But yeah, those were the only two things I actually saw. But I never pushed myself to the extent that I did with wrestling once I knew wrestling was the one that I wanted to do.
So let's say Johnny never becomes a professional wrestler. Like, what is the career path? What are you aiming for then?
Oof. At the time I was going to school for sociology and psychology.
Hmm,
So probably something within that field, hopefully teaching it. Yeah.
I like it. It's different. Um,
That's
so just going back
a good question.
to going back to the wrestling fandom, I guess, who were some of your favorites growing up? I know you mentioned Charlotte and Sasha. Like, who did
Yeah.
you pay the most attention to, and then who maybe would you take inspiration from?
Ooh, okay. So when I was real young, just watching with like my family, I guess, uh, I took a liking to The Rock,
Hmm,
the basics like Lita, the Hardys. I also loved Tori, so
okay.
I loved her. Yeah. And then Charlotte and Sasha and AJ kind of sparked my "oh, I want to do it" thing. I would say is they made me go, "oh yeah, like that's what I want to do," or Mercedes Monet, I should say now. Um, but who truly inspires me is once I started to learn more about wrestling, I started to dig deeper, and it was independent wrestlers. It was the indie wrestlers that
Okay.
inspired me. The ones that inspire me now are like, yeah, the people that train me or the people that I'm able to wrestle here at like local shows within the West Coast is what I'm usually lucky with. So I would say those are my biggest inspirations or my friends.
Okay. Any
Mhm.
just as a shout out, any names independently that shout out to you?
Oh yes. Tyler Bateman, I steal from him all the time. He's like uncle to me. Tyler Bateman, Adrian Quest. That's my brother there. G Sharp. Uh, shoot, Shane Hayes. Uh, Rocky Romero, Kushida. Those are like my trainers. Alan Breeze. Um, yeah. I'm trying to think of everyone I steal from. Um, yeah, those are like the people I usually go, hey, like, can I get some feedback from you, or can I get some more information from you, or their thoughts on things, and then like, yeah, I consistently watch them. Andy Brown, yeah, those are the people I really genuinely like watching a lot.
Definitely. So you mentioned doing sports throughout school, going into college, and going through that process. When did you take the shift and say, "Hey, maybe I want to try this professional wrestling thing out? And when did you decide that that was the route you was going to take instead of the college route or pursuing, that aspect?
Um, I remember I was talking to my best friend about it, because that's who got me into wrestling again, or got me to be like, oh, let's put it on Monday or Friday, you know what I mean? And let's put the pay-per-views on. I remember being like, I want to wrestle, but they knew about all my other goals from the past. And so they were like, are you sure about that? You should commit to it. Like really look into it and then come talk to me about it. So they were the ones that like made me go I was about to cuss. I was about to that go like, damn, like yeah, I did want to be a softball player. Yeah, I did want to be a dancer or whatever the case was that I wanted to do in life. But I would only push so far. So they were kind of tired of hearing my shit. And when I heard that, I was like, damn, you're right. So I think once I started to like, I looked into what I could afford, I looked into what was close, not closest, because sometimes training schools are very far. But once I looked into everything and really put thought process into it and went, okay, here are my options, and then knew um, and found work at the time that could make my schedule work around that. That's when I was like, oh, this is it. When you truly make the time for something or commit to it, like you make it happen is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
That's that's how you know you want it. Because sometimes you can want it and just want it and not do anything about it, which is what my best friend was trying to explain to me. It's like, cool, you want it, but do you really? And then that's when I was like, oh, good question. So that's that's when I knew wrestling was it because I truly put my all into it.
Okay. What for you did it look like trying to find the right school? And once you found it, what did that training process look like for you?
I looked at, if I'm being entirely honest, money because money's always the biggest issue for anybody, I think, in wrestling or for most.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it was money. And then I looked into, and there weren't at the time that many schools here in SoCal other than Santino's, who I do enjoy and I pop in if I can. But it was just too expensive for me at the time. So I went with Millennium Pro Wrestling in Chatsworth.
Okay.
And at the time, they were even further than Chatsworth. They were like a 2 hour drive for me, which isn't bad for some.
Yeah.
It's not bad for some, but when you're from LA, then, Um, uh, yeah, the process of it was just kind of I went in, they're like, come check it out, because probably everyone wants to tell them I want to wrestle. So I went to go check it out, and then I was even more like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And for a while, it was just kind of like a once a week thing for me. And then it became, I got told I can go into the next course, but then the school shut down. So then I started to just train elsewhere and then even in backyards. And then they were like, well, we're going to open up. So I kind of wanted to stay committed to them and what I was comfortable with. So they found a new location and then started back up with them. But then COVID hit. And then, well, here we are now.
Okay. So, like, as far as like trying to make a name for you yourself, I should say, on the SoCal scene, what did that look like to start, and how has that progressed for you so far?
So how was
Like
it
how,
making a name
yeah,
for
yeah.
myself?
What did it look like for you trying to make a name for yourself in that area at the time
Mm.
when you first started, and how do you think you're doing now?
Okay, good question. I don't think I went in trying to. Did I?
I like that question.
Um, Yeah, I think I want to say I didn't go in thinking, how can I make a name for myself?
Okay.
I went in going, I just want to wrestle.
Okay.
So it started off with my school at the time. They run weekly. So I was doing weekly shows, and then people just started reaching out to me. And then I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm going to take it. And then there was people who were telling me, like, you shouldn't do that. And I was like, why do I care? These people want me and like I'm seeing new things and I'm just trying new things. Like, why would I not want to go and do that? So I guess you can say is like I took a chance because the people who at the time were like, don't do these shows, don't do this and that, like you're gonna like ruin things for yourself. And I was like, what do I gotta lose? Like I just wanted to wrestle and I wanted to just do new things. So I genuinely don't think I put into the thought process that like, let me, how do I build up my name around here, or just how do I build my name? I just wanted to wrestle. It was like that simple. Um, and to lead off of like what you just said, like how do you think I'm doing now? It wasn't until like probably like last week or something where I was like, oh whoa, people like watching me wrestle. It's a very different thing because like people at the time were like trying to, we're just now going, oh, this person is a good wrestler, this girl knows how to wrestle, whatever the case was, that they took a liking to me. And now I have fans from SoCal area, from LA area, whatever you want to call it. They're like, I remember you were at my training facility at the time and you were just starting and you were wearing this. And then I'm like, oh dang, like you were with me from then, that like now you're seeing me here. Or like the fans just remind me where I, not where I was, because I always am reminded, but they just like they remind me of all my
Yeah.
accomplishments. So it's a very huge difference. And now I'm just now kind of seeing like awesome, like because I took those chances. Now people in my area, um, I don't know the right words to use, but I would like to say that they're proud of me, I guess. And I'm proud to represent the West Coast area, let alone the LA and SoCal area specifically. And honestly NorCal, because I love NorCal and that's my second home.
I think the end of the year is always interesting because that's when you get everybody has a list of who's the up and coming or who's next to watch or who they'd like to see
That's true.
get signed. And I'll be honest, I live in the Chicago area, and with you specifically, I'll be honest, it was kind of an out of sight, out of mind thing until recently, when that end of the year everybody starts making lists. And I'll be honest, scrolling through Twitter and seeing other podcasters doing, rankings and stuff like that, your name has popped up on so many lists. And then, like, I mean, just bringing back to Warrior Wrestling, like you said earlier, they could have chose somebody from the Chicago area or the Midwest, but they chose you. And I think that just speaks to the line of work you've been able to put in the last couple years and the effort you've put in. So I think you've done your job, whether you've realized it or not. You're making a mark.
Thank you for that. That's exactly what I mean by like, yeah, that right there just is exactly what I was trying to
Summed it up.
explain. Is
Yeah,
yeah, like, yeah, I don't realize it. I don't put that into thought. I'm just out here doing it and hoping I something comes of this thing that I love to do. I have goals, of course, and things I'd love to accomplish. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, I'm having a good time and like I just want this and that. Yeah, so things like that remind me of like what I'm doing. So thanks for
of
that.
course. I get it 100% because in a lot of ways, I have the same mentality when it comes to podcasting. I just do it. I have fun doing these,
Yeah.
and I don't really like. I don't really ever sit back and say, "Oh my gosh, I achieved that," because it's like for me, I'm always like maybe mentally saying, "Okay, what's next? What's next? What's
Yeah.
next?" And I never
Yeah.
sit back and smell the roses. It's always just what, and then I have other people say something like, "Hey, you had the Hardys on, or you're doing
So
stuff with
crazy.
TNA, or you got a legend on," and I never I just have the conversation, like, because we're all
Yeah,
just people, so, like, it's just
exactly.
another day at work, kind of, but I enjoy
Exactly.
it. So, that's the
No,
biggest
exactly. Yep.
difference, like, I don't pay attention to it until somebody says something, and then it's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I did do
It's
that."
yeah, that part right there. Like I'm like, if I can call off work for this, that's all I'm happy about.
Pretty much.
If I can take more days off from work to the point until they fire me, I'll be
I'll
happy. That's
take
all
it.
that that's my goal is like they're like, hey, you're missing too much work. We gotta fire
Of
you.
course, thank you.
Cool.
Sounds
I'm wrestling too
good.
much.
Something like I was very interested in when I started doing your research is or research on you is
Hmm.
you've done some work with Wow Women of Wrestling.
Hmm.
Can you break down for us what it was like you getting in the door with Women of Wrestling, and could
Ooh.
we ever see the return of Robbie Rocket?
Ooh. Yeah. So with it's kind of like what I was saying, how I took a chance on myself by doing other independent shows in my area, and people telling me not to do them.
Hmm.
Um, I remember I had a match, and at the time, the scouts that were there for they weren't there for me, is what I'll tell you, as they were there for somebody else, and they took a liking to me, and um, yeah, I guess I took a chance on myself in terms of I can't go into too much detail about it,
Fair enough.
but I took a chance on myself in terms of that, and I'm happy with the choices that I made with being able to work with them. And they were it was awesome. I met my best friends there, which is Jasmine Allure and Everly Rivera. So and just a lot of the girls there are just so amazing. So a lot of that was awesome, and being able to do the whole production. It was dope. Being Robbie Rocky was so much fun. It was different. um, Never say never, I guess. If things go, yeah, never say never. Robbie Rocket was super fun.
I like it. I like it. Simple answer. I understand. Just to go next place, next spot on the kind of journey you've done work with CMLL. As
Ooh, yes.
how did or I should say, what was your first experience like going to Mexico and working in Mexico? Kind of how did that opportunity come about, and what's something that you haven't achieved yet in CMLL that you'd like to
Oof,
achieve still?
heck yeah. The first time there was very. I think sometimes you don't get to like embrace whatever it is for the first. You do, but you don't. It's still kind of like a blur.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. It was so amazing. I was ready to go back the second time or a second time. Um, it's Mexico's amazing. The fans are amazing. The food, the people, everything about it is just great. CMLL alone is amazing, and the workers are amazing. I know everyone already says it how great the women's wrestlers are there, but I knew that. I just knew that already, and being able to work with them was awesome. And then when I went around the second time, it was an even better experience, and that one is what made me go like I need to go back and stay there. I want to be able to, I guess, piggyback off of the second question, which was what do I want to accomplish there. What I truly want to accomplish there is being able to train with them.
Okay.
uh, I'd love to go there, not just for like a week, not for 2 weeks. I want to be there for as long as I can be there. um, Train and become a better wrestler, learn their style. um, Maybe sooner or later go after the belt, because that's everybody's goal, right? But being consistently part of them, being able to actually be on the roster, be there consistently, not again, not just for a week and a half. I want to actually be there and put in the work.
Okay. You know,
Yeah.
CMLL does a lot of work with AEW now.
Mhm.
Could you see that being an avenue maybe to get a foot in the door at somewhere like All Elite Wrestling?
That would be awesome. I forgot your other question, which was how did I get into CMLL? And I think that was me showing how hard I worked at the New Japan dojo in LA.
Okay.
They saw my commitment, they saw the work I was putting in. And so they kind of were like, hey, we have this girl here. And they were kind of pushing that. Um, so with AEW and CMLL and even New Japan, all kind of just,
Yeah.
I hope there's a chance, and that's all I can really say. Or like, not say because I don't want to say that, but I can only hope that something comes from any of that. Yeah.
I feel like it's definitely a avenue to get the right eyes on you, because obviously, like, if we just have to assume, like, and I know I hate assuming, but if you have to assume, Tony's obviously paying attention about New Japan and CMLL if he's working with them
Hmm.
both. So I mean, realistically, if it's only a matter of time before you see something.
I hope. I mean, that's why I'm trying to like get better, and why I want to be put in with the best.
Yeah.
So that way, someone sees something and
Definitely. You brought up the New Japan Dojo.
Mhm.
How would you explain or express your time that you've had working with the New Japan LA Dojo, and how do you think it's prepared you for what's next for you in your career?
Mhm. I think going to the dojo was the best decision I ever made. And I think for a lot of people, they say the same thing. And that doesn't mean that like it brings you success or anything like that, but it's what you get out of it uh, internally, or I guess physically. Not even physically, honestly, it's like a huge mental thing there. Um, you're pushed to the point of just wanting to be better. You push yourself to the point of wanting your peers to be better with you. Um, whether it's doing squats or just being so tired, or I don't know, whatever it is that you're slacking in, there's something that uh, the dojo or the strong style brings out of you, which is yeah, the strong style, pushing, just yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It just makes you better. I think it prepared me a lot. It prepared me for things in Japan, whether it was just roles or even just like I just said, just mentally, just telling yourself whether you think you can do it or not, you're gonna fucking do it. So I think that's what it brings. It brings out that fighting spirit in you.
And how do you think that's, I guess, helped you prepare yourself for what's next?
Um, it's so stupid, but so or an example I can give you is we have to do 500 squats and however many push-ups, and then like after you just did this crazy obstacle thing, and then you still gotta go spar like shoot style for 5 minutes and keep going until you tap or get pinned. Um, it's not trying to. It's not like, oh, I did 500 squats. I did all this. It's, damn, dude, I really wanted to quit and I chose not to. Or it was like, dang, I'm so tired, but I still went in and gave it my all. Or it's just that fighting spirit. It prepares you for anything because like now I'm just like, okay, throw it at me, dude. Like it's nothing. I'll see it. I'll count that as 500 squats. You don't think I can accomplish whatever this is? Cool. I couldn't do 500 squats now, or whatever the case is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um, it just makes you think of things like you're gonna push through it. That's that. It makes me think of that. It gave me huge confidence too in terms of just believing in myself. Yeah.
I know, like, I guess it sounds like, I guess the only example I could think of personally was like I wrestled in high school, amateur wrestled, and like the biggest thing coaches always put to us is pushing ourselves past what we think is physically possible. So if like
Yeah.
you don't think you could go out there and spar and wrestle for 15 minutes, we're gonna make you do it for 30.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you think you can only run sprints for 10 minutes, well watch, we're gonna do it for a whole hour. And like
Yep.
just because I guess I learned in that aspect is it's more of a mental game than a physical game.
Exactly.
Because most of the time the mind's going to want to quit way sooner than the body's going to want to quit, and it's just
All the time.
sounds like New Japan's heavy on the, well, let's make the mind stronger than the body because then the body can be pushed further.
Exactly.
I,
Exactly.
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. So we've talked about, I guess, you going to CMLL and maybe learning a little bit of that style. Obviously, New Japan, at the New Japan Dojo, you've learned some strong style. What's it
Hmm.
like for you as a competitor to be able to go to these different places and learn these different styles and learn these different traditions, um, and put them into your game and put them into your arsenal? Like, because a lot of people don't get that opportunity.
Yes. I think it's just that it's me knowing I'm lucky with these opportunities. I'm lucky to be in the presence of whatever it is or whoever it is. Um, all you can ever do to, I think the best thing you can ever, sorry, I don't know what words to use, but I think if you can learn everything and anything, why not?
Yeah.
Uh, whether it's going to, even if I couldn't go to this CMLL, I would try to go find someone who I can learn from maybe they know the style. Yeah, but me personally, I do want to learn everything because uh, I try to think realistically and what would work best for me. So if I'm able to go in there with a powerhouse or something like that, how can I use these lucha moves to dick or duck dodge, whatever the case is, you know what I mean? Jump up, catch you with something. And if not, I can go back to the Shang style or the New Japan style in terms of striking and just like reminding myself of my fighting spirit. Um, yeah, I love taking of everything and going, oh cool, I like this. I can mix it with this. Um, yeah, and then if you know more styles, can you imagine how much more fun it could be like facing anybody. You can now face anybody and have some a little bit of something.
Yeah. So, like, something I think is really cool about your career so far is like I've had a lot of guests on the podcast. Now, I've heard countless times if I want to go to Japan, and you've had the opportunity to go overseas and wrestle in Stardom and Noah. Uh, how do you feel like that's helped you evolve not only as a wrestler in the ring, but maybe even outside the ring?
Japan is amazing. Again, super lucky. I was able to get that opportunity being the West Coast Women's Champion, and able to go with Marvelous. I have worked with Stardom, yes, but it wasn't in Japan. It was with New Japan, so that's awesome. But when I was in Japan, I was there with Marvelous. I was able to work with Noah. I was able to work with Marigold. I was able to work with Sendai Girls. Am I missing anybody? I don't think so. Um, it was awesome. Good question on what I was able to take and stuff. It is like again, I think everything in life is just mental.
Yeah.
Um, but I was able to just remind myself of who I was and also again what I'm capable of, trying new things or just even just going out and exploring things on my own when I was in Japan is like something internally really nice for yourself. And then when you find peace in things, you find like more peace in wrestling, or you find things start to click. But it wasn't until I left Japan that the wrestling started to click a little bit more for me. Um, but yeah, being able to work with all the competitors I was able to work with, and then work with girls, I wish I can just go back to that and just train every day with them like we were doing. And it's awesome to see the young girls that are coming up, that slow build up for themselves and seeing them accomplish just passing their protest. That was awesome to witness. It was beautiful to witness. Um, yeah, Japan's amazing. Super lucky again to be there, to have done it. I can only hope to go back.
S- I lost you. So, just I mean, we've talked about some of the places you've worked so far. Where is somewhere that you haven't got the opportunity to work that you'd like to work in the future?
Europe, obviously, everywhere. I there's too many places I've gone to. I guess you can say the main ones that a lot of people want to go to. But I think Europe is on my list next. I would
Okay.
definitely love to go there. Yeah, everywhere. I don't really. I just want to travel. I want to do it all.
Okay. Europe's. I've had a lot of guests from. I won't say a lot of guests, but a decent amount of guests from Europe. Like,
Hmm.
and I've always heard that like their style is it's like a blend of what you maybe see in a New Japan or in Japan or in Mexico. So like I think that's somewhere I think you could really excel if we're looking
Yes.
stylistically. So that's interesting that that's where you'd
Mhm.
say.
Yeah. I actually do see that. I try to watch them as much as I can, or tape study. Uh, but yes, yes, dang, I didn't think about that till now until you just said that.
So I mean, with the I asked the where is the we mentioned lists earlier. Is there anybody? Do you have a list of anybody you'd like to wrestle that you haven't got to yet?
Too many people, too many people.
Too many.
Yeah, way too many. Mio from Marvelous is on there. I have faced honestly all the Marvelous girls I want a singles match in. I just love them, and I think they're some of the best. Um, Even just a little underrated, if I'm being honest. I'd love to just wrestle for Stardom, just because that's always been a dream and goal in Japan, and being able to wrestle everyone on the roster. Um, I just it's so lame, but yeah, I want to be able to wrestle just all the best. There's yeah.
Okay. I mean, and looking at the list of some of the talent you've wrestled, I mean, a lot of them are on TV now. So I mean, you're ranking up quite the list of people you've already competed against. So I'm sure that you'll continue to chop that down and eventually be on TV yourself. So
That's the goal, I hope.
keep it up. Before this will come out the morning of your Warrior Wrestling show against Willow Nightingale. Do you have any final words for Willow before you get in the ring with her?
What's up with your mean tweets all the time? You're supposed to be this sweet little cutie patootie. A little rude though. So all I know is you're gonna get your ass beat. So, but I still love you.
Okay, simple. Thank you, Johnny or Johnny. So
Thank
sorry, I
you. No,
butchered the
you're good.
name.
You're
I
good.
knew
I'm
I
horrible
butchered
at
your name.
names. You're good. You're good, Justine. You're good. I'm just kidding. Thank you,
Johnny,
Justin.
thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to your match later today as this drops, and seeing what you do next in professional wrestling. I tend to leave the door open. You ever want to come on for a part two? I'd love to have you. See, I'm sure there's a lot more on the
Awesome.
table here to talk about. So that invitation's always there. Door's wide open. Just let
Awesome.
us know.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Let's have some more opportunities, and should circle back.
Sounds good. Johnny, I will leave this at see you next time.
See you next time.